the man of the hour. I'm not sure how ready he is, but I'm just going to share a few words about the person who's going to be taking the microphone in just a few minutes. And Renee, it would be nice to have your take also as to what you want to say about him, because there's so much to say about this young man. I call him a young man because he's a product of some of the world-class products that he's bringing out to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just really want to say that this young man I'm going to be introducing you to, he is a self-made millionaire at the age of 25. He's a champion wrestler. I think I can say that. Yeah, he have won several championships, awards, belts, and medals. And he have been featured with Warren Buffett on American Business Journal. He have had first class. He's a first class inductee in the Network Marketing Hall of Fame. He's a compensation plan expert. He's Mr. Forensic himself. He is the CEO and founder of our company, the visionary behind the philosophy of opulence global. What else can you add, Renee?
You know, Arthur, we could literally speak for days upon days about how special this gentleman is. And, you know, for me personally, this gentleman has completely changed my life. I still recall my first time meeting this gentleman at the age of 27. I was hungry. I was lost. I was looking for a solution. And what's amazing, in fact, even after this past weekend, we all had an amazing time, of course, at our innovation conference. And the one feedback I kept getting from a lot of our new partners across the globe was they're just so amazed about this gentleman, how this gentleman, you know, started this business from the basement of his own home. He's already super wealthy, doesn't need to be here. And just hearing this gentleman, of course, the past weekend, hearing from him speak from his heart, his vision, his mindset, what goes on again in that mind of him. You know, it's like a crazy, super of amazing ideas. And the one thing that they kept being amazed about was just how down to earth and how special and how patient and how he's such a people's person. And even after 16 years of being here, he's still with us on the field. He's there with us, training us. They're there to encourage us. And all I can say is my life has changed completely because this person, he's created over 20 millionaires now, of course, in the industry, and many more to come. You know, featured on the front cover of the American Business Journal, Canadian Business Journal, voted, CEO Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young. And again, I think the list goes on and on and on. But more importantly, he's the main reason why we are all here. So again, that of course is none other than our very own CEO and founder, as we always say, the CEO with a heart of gold, Mr. Rami Masgar. So welcome to the call, and the floor is all his. Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Can you hear me okay?
Recording in progress.
Yes, we can hear you okay. See you, Rami.
Well, thank you, Renee, for filling in, and Arthur, the best host we have here. So, all right, we're live on YouTube as well. You'll now join me here as well. We're also live on YouTube. So Renee was talking about conference. Wow. I mean, what can we say about this? If I had to give one advice to, and we talked about this on the weekend, I did a different type of segment on the conference. I didn't do a training. I did a lecture. It's the first time I've done that. Usually I do a training. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to YouTube. And if you want to catch me on video, I'm on YouTube. Or on Zoom, you have my voice. Anyways, I did a lecture. And what I thought I would do, Arthur, is I'd let people into my mind. What I think about in the back office. And we've always been a different, although I am Mr. MLM, 32 years doing this, building 5 multi-million-dollar businesses, 4 of them as a distributor. But when I approached this company, when I launched this company, I wanted to do it differently. I saw some gaps. I saw the industry was already 60 at the time, 65 years old. But I felt that it was missing some things. And it wasn't evolving fast enough. It's almost like doing the same thing over and over again. That's why I love the Forensic Networker, because it just changes the way you think about the whole industry. It touches on areas that no other MLM training touches on. So the whole idea for Opulence Global wasn't to be an MLM company, although the method of distribution is through MLM, but it was to go out there, become the best luxury designer we can be. And so our target from day one wasn't to go be Amway in MLM. Our target from day one was to go be Louis Vuitton and go be Cartier. They're still multi-billion-dollar companies, but you have to focus on quality. Looking at our awards and accolades, we've done extremely well, and we keep getting better every single day in that capacity. Moving to health, and now 16 years later, 204 countries and territories. Endless amount of accolades and awards. But I'm thinking we are already being voted so many times the top momentum and the top company and compensation plan, whatever. But I think we're the only companies even thinking about changing everything in MLM. So for me, it's no longer even being just a luxury designer. I'm thinking, okay, no, we got to evolve the whole industry. And we're going to become now a technology company. So not an MLM company, not just a luxury designer, it could be a technology company, because the world's largest companies in the world, they're technology companies. Amazon, they may be selling products on there, but they're not a product selling company. They're a technology company. When you take a look at Facebook, they may be social media, but they're a technology company. So Twitter, all these Square, all these companies are technology companies. So, and when it comes to technology, the number one thing that's important in technology is network effect. So studying these multi-billion-dollar companies that are outside MLM, and you put your own marketing skills last 30 somewhat years of MLM, you come up with something magical. So it takes us from that, all you need is a good product, good comp plan, to good product, good comp plan, and a system that could generate network effect. That means a whole bunch of people will come attach themselves to the system, and the value of your business, the value of the platform goes up per participant. So I'm thinking, you go to a gas station, and what they ask you, do you have a points card, right? Do you have a points card? You go use a MasterCard on Visa, what do you give you? Points, right? Everybody now are offering you points. They don't do that because they love giving away money. They do that because they want to engage you, because they understand they're trying to create one thing, and that's network effect. And where network effect comes from is from a concept called Metcalfe Law, where what Metcalfe Law is that the value of your business is squared to the value of the participants. So think about that for a minute. You have an MLM business. Creating network effect means is that every single person that joins your team who are buying a smart buy on a monthly basis, that generates a value that's squared to the actual money that you make on that order. So I showed on charts that if you're making $500 a month residual income in MLM, that business is worth $250,000. I showed how it's worth that. And this is how the internet is assessed. That's how, when they say Facebook and Google are worth $1 trillion, Apple is worth $1 trillion, it's based on one thing, Metcalfe Law. So I take that law, so put it into MLM and Opulence Global, creating, how can we create that network effect for every single one of our distributors, for our company, for the whole industry? So it's something I've been working on for about a year. So during the pandemic, I tripled our IT team. We have a massive IT team right now. And you saw the stuff we put out on Saturday. Can you imagine? See that professional dashboard now? See that new website? See all the stuff? So all of that is based on the ideas that I have, that I want to turn this company into a technology company, where hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people will join your network and create that network effect. So we're going to do what Amazon's done to become Amazon, the world's largest corporation. Let's go do what Facebook is doing every single day. So I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, when I did this lecture, I told everybody, you don't have to, this is one talk I've done, I think in my lifetime, that I said, well, you don't have to learn anything I just said, or I'm about to say. You don't have to understand it. You have to capture the gist of it. And the gist of it is this. If from the MLM standpoint, it brings us from what is perceived to be, which is go recruit a lot of people, sell a lot of products. And that's the MLM culture. It takes us from that into, well, go recruit a lot of people, sell a lot of products, but that's the start. The main part is not that. The main part is attaching that new customer, the new VIP, that new brand partner, attaching them into the system, creating a network effect to make sure that they bring in steady orders every single month. In this company, we call it Smart Buy. So it takes the focus, not, it won't take it away, but it splits the focus from go out there, recruit that next person, to paying attention to people we have right now. We have right now. The people on your team right now. Because the Metcalfe law says it doesn't matter how much money you're making on your existing people. Every single person in your team has a value squared to what they bring in. So if they give you $150, their value this month in the Smart Buy, their value isn't $150. Their value is 150 times 150 squared. So this is how the world's largest businesses are assessed. Because that's the proper way. Why? Because one person, if we can keep that one person attached to the network, their renewal, their Smart Buy order, their product order will generate other activities in the organization, in the network. Just because they're attached, they're talking, they're recruiting, they're selling, and that generates other sales, conversations, launches. That's why a value of every single person in your organization, the value is squared of the production. It's quite a phenomenon. So the multi-billion-dollar companies understand that we can't lose a single person. Because when we lose every single person we lose, what we lost equals to squared of what they would have brought us. In our case, if somebody's on a Smart Buy, you lose that Smart Buy this month, you didn't lose $150. You lost their subsequent orders, and because they're active, the people they will have brought, people they talk to, or their Smart Buys, or the launches. So now the value is 150 squared. When you start to understanding this, he said, my God, I need to follow up on my team. Every time somebody places an order, they need a phone call from me. I need to call them and thank them, send them a quick WhatsApp message. I need to get on the company's social media page and see what I can find today so I can send it to all my existing distributors, my existing customers. Because my network effect can only take place in the Metcalfe law if I'm keeping every single distributor that I have. See, that's a new phenomenon in MLM. I know, people talk about it in trainings, but, You know where the focus is, right? The focus is always on that new. We need the new. The lifeblood of your organization is the new blood. We need the new, but not in an expense of losing the old. When you bring new, lose the old, you're on a treadmill to nowhere. How far does a treadmill take you? You stay in the same spot. So we got to get them in, we got to keep them in, and the keep them in part is network effect. You want to expand the value of your organization, you keep your customers. How you do that? With information, bonding, training, education, caring. So we put all these options now. It's so cool. It's like a video game now. All these options on your mobile app, right? So you wake up in the morning, you pick your phone up, and then, let me see how my business is doing. Oh, Arthur, that's you, by the way. I'm showing you to my YouTube crowd. That's Arthur. That's Arthur on Zoom, our host for tonight. So what we're doing, basically giving all these cool options. So you wake up in the morning, first you want to do, pick up your phone and, how's my business doing? Oh, something incredible. Who launched today? Who bought today? Who defaulted today? Who didn't renew today? Who renewed today? Who's credit card bounced today? All of this stuff. So you got all this data. And that creates an MO for you, doesn't it? Having the data creates an MO. There's a lot of phone calls to make. You need that MO box more than ever, because you got to take this information and put it in your MO box. And that creates, so every single person you keep in the system, that creates network effect. If you got one, you generate some value. If you got two, you doubled that value, squared to the volume that they bring in. So I did some calculations for you. So if you made $500 in residual income in MLM, it doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, although it is a lot. Let me tell you why. Because the difference between bankruptcy and solvency is $300 every single month. People who've gone bankrupt, they wouldn't go bankrupt. They have like actually it's 200 now. It's even got worse. So 500 is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. And why? Because if you're short $200 every month, eventually your line of credit is full, your credit cards are full, you're bankrupt, right? So it's a lot. So if you take $500, then what I did, I said, well, let's put this Metcalfe law to test. Obviously, I can't question something that multi-billion-dollar companies are assessed on, but I said, I need to know. So I started looking in the banks of the world. You know how much interest you get on your money now? It's like 0.1%. 0.1, like not 1.1%. So I said, you know what? Maybe some parts of the world it's more than that, whatever. It's just, if you got 1%, right? 1%, if you have $250,000 in the bank cash, 250,000 cash in the bank, even 1%, forget 0.1, at 1%, that's about $200 a month. So how much is our $500 a month worth? You need 250,000 cash to make 200 a month if you can get 1%, which you will not. So you get 500. So it's worth way more than $250,000. Way more than $250,000. That's like, my goodness. So we can create 500 a month. Then we got business at 250. Once you start looking at the real value, true value of your business, and every single per business is a group of people, then all of a sudden the group of people in the business now become valuable. And when they become valuable, you don't ignore their orders, you don't ignore their calls, you don't ignore the smart buys and shopping credits. You know the value of that network effect. And every single day on your phone, who placed an order today? Who launched somebody today? Who renewed today? Whose credit card bounced today? Quick messages, creating network effect. It's like when you go to a grocery store, drugstore, do you have a card? Do you have a points card? You heard it everywhere. Do you have a points card? You can't even pay a bill at a gas station, do you have a points card? Why do you think they do that, these large companies? Because they're creating network effect. They want to get you engaged. How about if we do that? Engaging our people. That's part 2 of an MLM, right? Keeping them in. Part 1 is get them in. I think everybody knows how to do that. There's part 2 that we struggle. Keeping them in. Although we shouldn't, because our company especially, we have so much tools every single day. Just go to one of our social media, go to all of them, Forensic, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, take those posters that our professional marketing team puts together and share it with everybody. There's your MO. That's a simple MO. That's a simple method of operation. So my lecture was about that. I made some PowerPoint. You don't have to understand everything I just told you the technical side, but understand that if you're going to build a massive business, you got to understand the value of every single asset. And when you understand the value of every single asset, you take care of them better. It's like, when you have a pair of shoes that's worth, I don't know, $500, you got a pair of shoes that's worth, I don't know, $50. You tend to take care of the shoe at $500 a little bit more than $50. Unless you don't know the value of the shoe that's $500. Then you treat them all the same. What if I suggest that you don't know the value of the assets in your team, in your network? What if you don't know the asset in your network? What if you knew the asset? If you knew every single person in your team, their value is squared on the order that they just placed and the commission that you just made, your attitude would be quite different. And that's how you create network effect, by keeping in connected to the system. And then that one person that's now connected, they're talking, buying, selling, recruiting, and that generates other network effect, the buying and selling. That's why every single one's value is squared to the actual money that you make on them. So it's not that commission that you made. That's not the value. Oh, what an unbelievable concept. Now I understand why we get harassed by Twitter and Facebook and by Google and YouTube and pretty much everybody. They created artificial intelligence just to harass us on their phones, on our computers, just because they want to know what we like so they can engage us. Why? They're creating network effect. And yet we have a genealogy with a bunch of assets on it, and we neglect to pick up the phone and call them after they paid us. And even the people who didn't pay us, they're there. They're there. They're ready to work. They're there. They're ready for your phone call. They're ready for training. They're ready for motivation. They're ready to work. They're ready to create network effect. They're ready to be valuable. And we're too busy to call them. We expect them to call us. We got too much ego. I'm the rank. I got the pin. They're gonna need to call me. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button so you get notified every time a video goes up. Share the link with a bunch of people right now as we speak it. To share the link, come back, make sure to put a comment on. Maybe put a comment. Algorithm takes over from YouTube and gets the message out to more people. Let's help the whole industry. So, write for me in the chat group, whether on YouTube or on Zoom. What is your understanding of network effect? What is your understanding of network effect? And Metcalfe law. What are we trying to do here? Remember, there's two parts of the business. Get them in. I think we all understand that part, right? We understand getting them in. It's the second part that we struggle in, keeping them in. And that's the network effect. So how do we create? How do we create network effect? How do we create network effect? What's the value? What's the value? According to Metcalfe law, what is the value of every single participant? What's the value of every single participant? Remember the Metcalfe law, right? What's the value? Is the value the order they just placed, the commission you just made, or is it something bigger? Much, much bigger. It's much bigger. It's squared. Squared. So if you got generated $1,000 worth of CV, right? And say that $1,000 squared exactly, and that $1,000, I don't know, made you $100, right? But the value of those individuals wasn't $100. It was 100 squared, which is $10,000. Because they're, as long as you keep them active, they're placing those smart buys, and you're keeping in touch with them, you're giving them tools, you're giving them care and education on a daily basis, then they're talking, they're buying, they're selling, they're recruiting. And then that duplicates throughout the whole network, right? That network, that's why it's each value is network squared. So I look at this as the CEO of this company in the back office. I'm a math guy. I'm looking at this and I say, actually, I can see why. When you started these multi-billion-dollar companies, I can see why they start with an app, just a mobile app. Next, you know, they have 500 million people. It's the network effect. Exactly, or it's keeping them engaged. Absolutely. It's a network effect. So I'm looking at this. I don't think there's nobody in MLM thinking about this stuff. MLM is still the old way. You know, here's a product, go sell something and recruit someone. That's the old, right? So of course that is part of the plan. I mean, that's what we do on a daily basis. But to create a network effect, to go become way beyond that, to create $1 million a month check, to create $1 billion company, we need more than that. We need more than just sell something, recruit someone. We need to create network effect. We need to keep those people in. And we need to do things on a daily basis to get them to duplicate what we're doing, network effect. And all of a sudden, we don't have a few people in the organization active. We have everybody active. And that's duplication, proper duplication, creating network effect. And the only way to keep them going is engagement, 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 engagement. Not that difficult. It's a pretty simple concept, really. Somebody comes to your team. If you go find a customer, you take care of them. Is that so complicated? Is it that complicated that we keep in touch with our customers and our distributors, and every day we give them some information? Is it that complicated? We should do it anyways, because we promised them the day they signed we're going to do it. We should do it anyways. But if you're not going to, for that reason, do it for your own reason. If you're going to make it big in this MLM, if you're going to make it big, if you're going to build a big team, then you need network effect. How you do that is you get them in, you keep them in, and by keeping them in, you need to engage them every single day. It shouldn't have to take long. You need to be on a phone call. Get the information, pass it on. That's what you do. Get the information, pass it on. Be there when they call you and to answer the phone. Understand the information. So you be the person that everybody wants to talk to because you know all the information. Then I start looking at the value that every asset brings. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Understand now why the social media companies, they want to connect everybody together, and they want you to connect to other people's leads, and those leads connecting to you, and they want you to share this with your contact list on your phone, and network effect. If we learn a little bit of this, if we learn a little bit of this stuff, we'll be $1 billion company in no time. So we got to work last year. I hired a whole bunch of people. We're creating great stuff for you guys. Oh man, there's such a big gap between Opulence and everybody else in the MLM industry. It's not even funny. And the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because we're now a technology company. We're no longer just an MLM company, no more just a health company, no more just a fashion company. We are a technology company. I'm going after the big guys. We're so ahead of MLMs, so that's fine. That's how we pay you, multi-level marketing. But we're nowhere in the MLM space. How we do our business, how we think, where we're going. I want to bring this thing to a point that your organization doubles or triples and quadruples every year. And the only way we do that is through network effects. I want to grow the way Facebook grows. I want to go the way Twitter grows. So that's all comes down to one thing: understand the value of your network and the people, the assets in the network, attaching them to the network. Some basic, simple things we should be doing anyways. So the fact that we're putting all this stuff out now, we're developing all these great things, and I'm proud to say we're now a technology company. It's beyond anything that MLM companies ever done or thought about. They still do the business the old way: recruit someone, sell something. Okay, that's what we do on a daily basis. But to go become this massive, gigantic, billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company, we need network effect. We want to make sure that your activity ratio in your organization goes up from whatever it is, and to be able to double it, this year. Then we go ahead and double it again the following year. Then we go and double it again the following year. And everybody that comes in, they're coming on the new culture, not the old culture. Understanding that every single asset in the network is important. Very, very important. Understanding that when you lose somebody who becomes inactive or doesn't renew or get off the smart buy, you lost a lot more than one individual. It's easy to say, I don't care, it's just one person. It's not. The multi-billion-dollar companies don't think that way. What makes you think you can think that way? Understand the network effect. See, we know some of this stuff already, because how many times we have recommended something we liked, or something we ate, or something we watched, or we recommend things all the time. All the time. Building someone else's network effect. Walmart has a special promotion. We tell 10 people about it. Building Walmart's network effect. How can we do that for you? For Opulence. So we're coming out with all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, you have to. I mean, this is dream stuff. I mean, I wish I had it when I was on the field, because you wake up in the morning. Instantly on your app. What's going on with my team, right? Who joined? Who bought Smart Buy? Who placed an order? Who launched? Who upgraded? Who took the credit cards off? Who canceled? Who did not renew? Whose credit card bounced? Who got a car qualified? Who got MJRS qualified? Who went to LD1? Rank advancement? Who's qualified? Wow. There's your MO for the day. There is your MO for the day. And all of a sudden, we've got a different type of duplication going on, don't we? We have a different type of duplication. And now you're doing this, everybody, your team is doing this. Everyone's on their app, right? They're talking about all these options, and they're talking to each other finally. Network effect. Communication. It's like going to a gas station. Do you have a points card? You don't know the guy. Do you have a points card? You go to a drugstore. Do you have a points card? You go to a movie theater. Do you have a points card? Use your Mascot Visa. Do you have a points card? Engagement. They want you close. Not far, close. Because that's how you create network effect. It's easier for you. The team is not that big. You know them. They're in your team. You have a good reason to call them. Now we give you a whole bunch of tools. Whole bunch of tools. Open your app. So you guys should be, for next week, you need to be ripping apart your back office. That should be the game that the game that you have on your phones, and you all do. Take the game off and put the app on Opulence and go in there, spin your wheel, get some free stuff, and then start ripping the back office off, and then ask yourself a question. Write down every single link. How can I use this particular link today to create network effect? And there's a lot of links over there you could use to create network effect. They were designed for you to create network effect. Without it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So that's where we're going as a company. Now, of course, if you don't use those tools, we're going to create network effect, or you won't. So at the end of the day, you have to use those tools. It's like we could put you in the vehicle and you have to drive it. I'm investing millions into this. We have tripled our IT team. We have tripled our graphic team. We have a full marketing department now. I'm not, we're already the best in MLM, but that wasn't good enough for me. I'm going after the big guys. I want to be a technology company. The world's largest corporation is Amazon. They make nothing. They make nothing. They offer technology. We got that and more. And more. Some of the best products in the world, the logistical systems that we have, just everything. The warranties, the guarantees, the customer service. We have, if pandemic couldn't slow us down one iota, nothing will. Nothing will. I'm pretty revved up. And if you can see it, I'm pretty revved up. If you're not, you should go watch one of my episodes like Inspired or Expired. YouTube, Inspired or Expired, the Forensic Networker. Pretty wrapped up. All right. You know what? I didn't even get to my notes. Oh, just a little side note. I didn't get to my notes tonight. I've just got on. I said Renee was talking about the convention. So I thought talk a little about that and became our topic tonight. Something interesting. Guess what's trending right now? By the way, if you're on YouTube again, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, comment, and share the link. Guess what job is trending right now in the big corporate world? Shocking to me. Shocking to me. Guess what job is trending in the corporate world? There is a position now called ethicist. Ethicist. Basically an ethics police. Wow. Now, when the big companies are being interviewed, it's done before it was a PR person. Now it's ethicist. Make sure nobody says something wrong. That's how corrupt businesses become. Now they need an ethicist. That's a new job trending. It's come to a world. We live in a world that we need now an ethic police in the company. That's why I love MLM. Because MLM, you run your own business, and you do it based on you, not the company. You don't need an ethicist. It's your ethics. It doesn't matter what company's behavior is. You're selling you first to your customers. You're selling you first to your prospects. So you use it, you join an MLM company, you utilize the systems and the products, but then you are completely decentralized in operations from any company. Nobody offers that. Nobody offers that. I absolutely love this. So when you work with a company, you're actually representing you. Nobody, your customers don't know the company. They see you. You get that choice to be at your absolute best, even if your company isn't. How awesome is that? You don't need, the companies are doing such a crappy job. I guess now they need an ethicist. That's a trending job in corporations. Imagine that. That's how much they break the laws. And that's because, I don't know. And I start thinking, I said, okay, this is on Bloomberg, right? And I'm thinking, that's another attribute of MLM. You are your own ethicist, 100% under your control. Go be better than your company. Go be more professional. Don't rely on upline. Don't rely on anybody. You go create a whole new class of business person. You get a chance to do that in MLM. See, MLM has so many attributes. I don't even know where to start now. With what just happened in the pandemic, it's just so much attributes. It used to be the last bastion of the free enterprise. It still is. I've talked about this for a long time. But we can add something else to that sentence. It's the last bastion of the free and decentralized. Decentralized, a good word. Enterprise. Because from the operation point of view, you're not attached to the company. You could run it as good as you want to be. Ethicist. We don't need ethicists in MLM. With that, Arthur, I'll pass the phone back to you. Let's read some comments. Tell me what inspired you tonight. Tell me what you learned. I want to see what you have learned tonight. And if you have any questions, let's close the call with that.
Well, Ramin, as usual, I really want to thank you for taking time out to be here with us. I could see that someone says that I love learning about network effect. And you covered that at the convention, and then you are repeating it here again tonight, and I'm sure they will learn a lot more from that. How do you pronounce that word, Ramin? The new word in the job?
Ethic, ETHICIST. I think that's what it is. What a world that we need an ethicist.
Wow. Wow, that's a new one for me. It's a new one for me.
That's how superior this method of distribution is. This form of business, we don't need an ethicist here.
Well, someone is saying that North York General pays their clinical ethicists $120,000 plus a year. Wow. Wow, that's really a portfolio in there. Wow. I'm Robin. They're loving the fact of the network effect. They love everyone is loving that. I think we understand very, very well the power of what that means and how we need to be able to really understand that and learn it and use it, put it into practice so that we can really make mileage with it. So I think a lot of persons are really happy with that teaching tonight. It's a new one for me in understanding it. So we need to really keep it. And also the fact that we don't need that ethicist in our department of network marketing, because it's one more privileged opportunity for us to be able to enjoy the fact that we are our own boss. We don't need anyone to look over our shoulders except us. Thank you, Ramin. Great info and mentorship. Anil is actually enjoying your teaching tonight and your training tonight, and I know so many others are as well. So, Roman,
Um,
again, I really want to thank you. I know we were not there in person in the Caribbean, for myself and Venetia and a few of us in the Caribbean at the conference, but we really appreciated the training online, and we were there glued into listening to it, and we really, really took in a lot from that, and we know that the next one we'll try our best to be in attendance in person. But the conferences is always a must because there is so much power there that we actually miss this one.
on YouTube, yeah, we'll look forward to receiving you guys soon. On YouTube, it's the chat's blowing too. It says keep building, but don't lose focus. That's KM. Joy from Australia, the power of network effect squared. Good stuff. Taking notes. We appreciate you, boss. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome, Maria. Inspired network effect. It's awesome. Be duplicatable. Keep it short. You know what? This is what it's all about. Like on Tuesday, we'll talk about stuff that you will not learn outside. I think I know a few things about creating wealth, and I want to share that with you guys. And as you can see, I don't stop. I don't stop. We're gonna take this to the billion, and we're already, like I said, so much better than everyone else in the whole industry. So I'm going outside the industry to take us to where we want to go. So the gap between Uplands Global and the rest of the direct sales industry is widening. We're just so ahead of everybody else from the product line, from the compensation plan, the technology, just the way we think, right? The family oriented that we are. So I'm pretty revved up about the future, as you guys can see. I hope that you guys are too, and don't get caught with this nonsense that goes on around the world. I was talking to somebody today, and he says, "Oh, I said, what's wrong?" He says, "Oh, did you see? There's a new variant. It's so dangerous." I just laugh. I start to laugh really hard. I start to laugh my head off. He says, so is that why you're like this? He says, yeah. I said, okay. I said, aren't you worried? I said, why? It's not my business. So there is another variant out there. Why do I care? Yeah, but it's dangerous. I said, listen, you have no idea what you're afraid of. You have no idea what. No, not today. There's about 10,000 people died from cancer. Nobody talked about that. But you're worried about something that came out somewhere in the world that has a 99.7% survival ratio, even if you were to catch it. Like the whole thing doesn't make any sense at all. So look, guys, don't let stupid things. I wouldn't give 1 second of my mind to world events. Not 1 second. Yeah, there's 1 second lost. 1 second lost. Now you want to go blow your time all day long on things? I suggest don't blow it on COVID. Blow it on the game or something. At least you'll enjoy it. But if you're gonna blow it on something that you're gonna enjoy at least, right? But don't. Who cares? What happens in the world is none of your business. It's not my business. We have our own business. I don't care what happens in other people's lives and countries, and I don't care about that. What happens is none of my business. I have my own business. So don't watch your news and all of a sudden, oh, what this happened, oh, that happened. And you know what? And you talk to them and say, if you're going to worry, there's a lot bigger things to worry about than COVID, right? They don't even make the top 10 in death ratio. I mean, there are people dying 100 times more dying from hunger today, from diseases today. That if you were to, 1 out of every 3 people get cancer. That's an actual stat. 1 every 3 people get a cancer. 1 every 2 people have some heart disease. Those are actual stats. 1 out of every 2. Do you have any idea what percentage of the world actually got COVID? 3%. 3%. So you're not worried about something that 50% of us can get. You know what's something that 33% get? By the way, you get cancer and heart disease, you got a problem. But even the 3% that got COVID, 99.7% success ratio, survival ratio, and those are the stats. So you're worried about, so they don't even know what they're worried about. They're worried about the news. See, I don't spend time on that. What happens in the news is not my business. It's not my business. What happens in these countries is none of my business. I do have my business. It's called Opulence Global. and you should not waste a second on wars, on riots, on traffic, or what happens. None of that world events is your business. The minute you start protecting your mind and protecting the seconds of the day, and you put that towards the stuff that's actually important in your life, you'll never burn another day. You will never burn another day. And that's what I want you to focus on. All right, team, we got a lot of work to do. We had a fantastic and weekend, and we're just getting started. Back to you.
Well said, Roman. Couldn't say it better. What we focus on, expand. And we just need to make sure we know what to focus on so we can expand in the right positive direction. So thank you so much, CEO Roman, for taking time off every single week. I'm sure that you are E&E from this conference and you are still here with us on Tuesday to be able to make sure that we can get some nourishment from your mindset, your philosophy, and your understanding of the industry, and allowing us to be able to grow. So thank you on behalf of the whole Opulence and the Forensic Nation. Thank you so much for being with us. And if you're on the call this evening, I'm sure you took lots of notes, you learned something, and now we can go back to our teams and share it. I look forward to seeing you on our next call, which is going to be on Saturday. Oh, here he is.
Just want to look at you and say, stay forensic.
Nice to see you. Well, stay forensic, everybody. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are around the world. Arthur Anthony signing out with CEO Roman.
Let's kill it. Let's go. Stay forensic. Good night.